In a previous tutorial, I showed you how to use the perspective crop tool. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you an even more advanced way to deal with perspective, and that is the perspective warp feature here in Photoshop. So I'm going to go to File and Open. I will go to my Chapter 3 and Folder 3.3. Now there's two different levels of complexity. You're going to turn in both of them if you're doing this for my class. So again, I'll start down here, click and drag over both of them, and open them up. You can see right here, file number 2 is complex perspective fixing. Got a really warped perspective on this shot because I had to turn my camera and face it way upward. Whereas this one, we have minimal perspective because it's a lower elevation photo. So here's yet another method for fixing warped perspective, and that is under Edit, Perspective Warp. It's going to look like it didn't do anything, but that activated the perspective warp tool. So just kind of like the perspective crop tool, you start outside, click and drag a grid, and I'm going to line that grid up with the corner of the building right up there. Okay, if it didn't land, I could just click and drag and move it, but I want to line that up right about there. Then I'll start over here, click and drag another box, and when they get close, you're going to see a thicker blue line. So they're going to snap to each other. They're going to connect. Okay, it says when finished creating quad shapes, click the warp button to begin warping. So what I'm going to do first, we'll hit that little X. I'm going to move this over, kind of line it up with that angle of perspective on that building right there. And I'll drag this one over to kind of line it up with the angle of perspective right about there. Kind of like what I did with the perspective crop tool. I'll drag this one in and we'll kind of pull this over a little bit. And we'll move that in, kind of line it up at that angle. Then right up here, you click Warp. Now when I pull these out and let go, it will start to straighten out the perspective on this photo. I can pull this up a little bit, cinch this up a little higher right there, whatever I want, but now I've got a nice straight building here, and we'll pull that out just a little bit more, and there we go. I hit enter on a PC or return on my Mac, and there's a straightened perspective on a simple outdoor photo. So I'll go to File menu, save a copy, last name, first name, simple perspective warp on my desktop as a JPEG, and I'll keep it as a high quality JPEG. Now that I've fixed one building, you can see I'm missing some space across the top. Okay, if that ever happens and I'm missing a little bit of space at the bottom, go to your crop tool. We'll just pull this down a little bit more, pull this up a little bit more, hit return. Now keep in mind, if I do that change, that was on the original photo. So I have to go to File, save a copy again. I just have to rename it one more time. Last name, first name. Let's see, click on my desktop here. What did I call that? Last name, first name, simple perspective warp. So simple perspective warp. Now when I go to save that with exactly the same name, it's going to say, wait, you already have one. Do you want to replace the old one? Yeah, replace it. And I save it. So now I've got the updated file. I don't need file number 1 anymore. I don't need to save that because I've saved it on my desktop, and now I have a more complex arrangement. So this is going to take a little more manipulating. So again, Edit, Perspective Warp. I'll start near the corner and drag out. Line it up with that corner of the building right up there. I'll start over here, drag and get these two boxes to kind of link together. Now I'll pull that one out right there to line it up with that angle of that building. We'll pull this one. And instead of going up and down, I can hold Shift key and kind of slide it straight across. Kind of really distort the perspective on that, so it's kind of matching that angle of those buildings right there. I'll hold Shift and drag this one way over like that. Now I click in the upper left, warp, and now I start warping my building. So we'll pull this angle back out. Wait a second for it to kind of catch up to me here. Right about there looks pretty good. Let's pull the opposite corner out. So really straighten out those buildings there. And at the bottom, I'll just pull this back over a little bit, kind of straighten out that side of the building. We'll pull this back over a little bit, right about there. And those buildings look nice and straight. They're not imploding, they're not falling over, and I think that looks great. So I hit, let's see, let's pull this over just a little bit more. There we go. I'll hit enter on my PC or return on my Mac, and there's my straightened out perspective shot. I love it. Complex perspective, easily fixed with the perspective warp. That's edit, perspective warp. So now that I have that done, File menu, save a copy, last name, first name, complex, perspective warp. I'll save it on my desktop as a JPEG, high quality, and that's how you fix perspective in a more advanced manner here in Photoshop. So keep in mind, the only other thing you have to watch out for is if you notice a little bit of missing space. Again, I saved the one on my desktop. So if I now notice a little bit of missing space, close this one. I don't need to save it anymore. I go to File and Open, and I open the one on my desktop. Okay, that's the one with my name on it. So I can see a little bit of white space there. So I take my crop tool, just pull that down a little bit, crop out any of that weird missing space. That looks good. Save one more time. Now it's an updated file, and I am good to go. And there you go with perspective warps here in Photoshop.